Hi everybody, this is Tina with Rehatch Designs. Hope everybody's doing well today. I am here with my Mask Make Monday, and I'm doing something kind of fun that I haven't done before. And I thought I would just show you what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and also give you a few other ways to do it. I have a lot of these little, I don't know what you call them exactly. They are these little wooden pieces. I buy them all the time, most of the time at the Dollar Tree. I think I've bought them a few other places, but I have like a whole box of them. And I kind of wanted to use them up a little bit, and also I had some ideas on what I wanted to do with them. So I'm going to pull a few of them out here. There's all different kinds. You can, I mean, really, honestly, there's just tons. Let me get another flower out. What I'm going to do with them, and I will show you examples when we get done, is I'm going to be using them in my journals, kind of. Some of them as dangles, but some of them I'm going to use like on clusters. They're thin enough that they work great because they're not, you know, bulky. You can put them on a tag. You can have them dangling on a tag or on a page or off the front of a journal. You can glue them on things. They're not really wood. It's more like a press board type thing, and it's like multiple layers. So they're super, super light. So they work great on things. I don't know if you've seen them at all, like here in the States at the Dollar Tree. You get those 3-packs, and they'll have, I mean, multiples in one pack. So you get tons with them. And I've had them sitting around for a while. And I think the reason I don't use them is because, I don't know, you know, they look okay the way they are. And I'm just, you know, they're all right. And there's obviously a lot of things you can do to them. But I thought, well, if I get a whole bunch of them altered, then they'll be ready to go. And I can just use them the way I want to later on in a journal. So anyway, let's go ahead and start with the first way that I'm going to do them. And I honestly hadn't even thought about this until I was kind of cleaning out some things. And this is the foil that you use when you you know, use the tool to foil with, okay? And this actually will work to do this. I have one of these pens, but it took forever to do it that way because you have to just basically go over it, put the foil over it, and go over the whole thing. I don't know, guys. Personally, I just don't have the patience for that. So I did something a little bit different. Here, I'll take one out and we'll try it. This is kind of a coppery rose gold, really pretty color. Let's see, do we want to, I might do silver this time. Nah, we'll do this one because it has the rose, so we'll do that. I am using this Zig, and it is a, the way that it works is that you put it on and it stays sticky and it doesn't completely dry, you know, until you put something on it that sticks to it. So I have the thick one, the wide tip on this, and I'm just going to take this and I'm going to go all over it, just real easy, okay? And I'm going to put this aside to dry, okay? So this little thing, I'm going to try and get it out of the little, you want to do the best you can to, oops, here we go, shouldn't have done that. That's all right, there's probably still enough on there. To not get it in all the little creases and stuff, because it'll be globby in there is the only way I can explain it. Okay, so we're going to put that aside. I'm going to let that dry, and I let it dry for about 5 minutes. And I'm going to put that aside. Then, let's see. Let me get a wipe and wipe that up. And the next one I'm going to do is basically using foil, but this is a different kind of foil. This is the, you know, the little flaky foil that you can get. I bought this ages ago on Amazon, and I just got a lot more than you would normally get in the craft store. If I can find it, I will put the link in there. But the last time I looked, I couldn't find it. So we will do that. But let me get it. Let's see, which kind do I want to do? Trying to find something that would look really cool like that. Let's just do another flower. How about that? So you can kind of compare the two different foils. I'm going to use the exact same thing. This is that two-way glue, and it works really good. You can use on this, you can actually use a glue stick if you put the foil on before it dries. But if it dries, you know, then it doesn't work because it needs to stay tacky when you put it on there. But I'm using this, and I figured I already had it out, so I'm going to use it. If you don't have that, like I said, just take a regular old glue stick and put it on there. And the only thing about the glue stick is that it will get stuck in all the little you know, little spots in there. So this actually works better. Okay, but you know, use what you have. Okay. Now, while those are drying, I'm going to try something else, okay? I had just bought these, and this is called Foundry Wax, and I have multiple colors here. I'm going to try this Mind. This is called Mind, and it has a little ball in it, and you have to shake it up. All right, let me get a piece of parchment paper out so that I don't have to keep cleaning the same thing over and over again. So, anyway, I've had fun playing with this today. It is really a lot of fun to do this. So, hopefully you guys get a chance. And I'm trying different ways because, you know, you guys may not have all of the same things. So maybe, you know, you may have some products and then not in others. And I'm going to show you, I'm showing you my favorite ways first. And then I will show you some other ways that you can do it with other products that you may already have in your craft room. So that, you know, you can use what you have. And these are very porous, so you kind of have to, on this, do 2 coats. That's what I noticed. All right, I am going to get my tweezers and kind of hold this down so I'm not getting it all over my hands. And you'll find too when you're doing these that there'll be like sections that are not poked out real good or something, and you can just go in there. I'm just poking it out with a pokey tool or anything that you have that can poke it out. And I put 1 coat on and then I put another because it is very, very porous. It's really just, you know, paper that's glued together. It's not really wood. It's got several layers. And I do know you have to make sure that you mix this up good. So I'm going to put another layer on there, and it's just painting, really. And I'll go ahead and do the sides. I actually like it to look kind of vintage, so I don't mind if a little of the kind of brownish colors shows through. But all these little pieces that you're seeing, these are just pieces that are of the heart that are actually falling off. And I'm going to go in there before I do the next step and kind of any of them. I mean, I don't worry about every little one, but I do want the bulk of them to be, you know. All right. And what I do, get all that out. All right. And on this stuff, oh, this has got a lot right there, huh? So what I do is I will take, yeah, I think that just had a bunch of stuff in it. And I'll just go through and poke all that stuff out. And it doesn't have to be perfect, guys, but, you know. Let's see, why is that messed up? Okay, let me do that from the other end. Sometimes it's easier to do it from the other way. You just kind of have to, you know. And you want to do this before the next step, because after that you really, well, you can do it, but it'll be a lot harder. And, you know, some of these are just very detailed, so you kind of have to work with that. All right. And this stuff will it's kind of thick and waxy, so that's why it gets in all the little spots like that. All right. Almost done. All right. And if you are going to be dangling this or something, then you probably want to do both sides, okay? I'm going to do one side for now. I may, you know, come back later and do the other side, but you do both sides the same. I just want to kind of be able to show you everything. So, all right, so let's see. Got most of that out. Got this piece is, I think that's just broken. That's okay. All right, and I'm just going to kind of fold this so all of it doesn't go blowing everywhere. And I'm just going to hold this with my tweezers and get my heat gun out, and you heat it up like you would embossing. Make sure that your bottle or this stuff is not anywhere close to your heat gun, because if you heat it up, then, you know, it'll harden after that. Okay, so that is one coat on there, and I'm going to go ahead and put another coat. So let's see here. And really the first coat, what it does is it kind of seals it, and then the second coat is probably, you know, a little bit more on there. Probably the one that's going to do it. So it is going to look metallic when you get done, which is kind of cool, because then you've got this thing that, you know, to me could work really well in a lot of different places. So do the ends a little bit. And again, if I need to poke any of the little holes out, then I do that. And I don't, you know, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just kind of get most of them out. And this stuff is really a wax, so that's why it pokes in these little holes so bad. So, I mean, it's not like a heavy wax, but it is waxy. So that is part of the issue. So I can see better from this side. And I thought about it too. You could maybe go over these with the clear gesso first and let them dry, because they are so absorbent, because technically it's paper. It's really cardboard, you know, kind of. And I think it would probably work better everything that you're doing if you put clear gesso over them, but I did not do that, but that's just something you may want to consider. All right, getting off all the loose pieces everywhere, or as many as I can. All right, that's pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. The other thing that you can do is take like a stiff brush, like I have one right here, and kind of go in there and do like that, and that gets a lot of the little pieces out, you know, and then you don't have to poke all of them out. But it's just basically like a die cut. I mean, you have to go in there and, you know, with your die cuts and poke all the stuff out, and that's basically all you're doing with this. Same idea. I wouldn't use the little roly thing, because then you'll chip off all the stuff. So and that is what you're gonna do. All right, so let me move that over here, get some of that in the trash so it doesn't. All right, so now let's just go ahead and do this. And I think that I'm gonna do one more. It did not work good. I think it needs one more coat on there. So, like I said, part of the problem with this stuff is it is very, very, very porous. And it did get shiny and everything, but I do think it needs one more coat. I'm going to do that again. Make sure I get lots on there. All right. I keep putting these brushes in my water over here because I've used a gazillion of them for this. And I don't want to wait too long on this, but there we go. All right. All right, let's try it one more time. So that is pretty much how it's going to look. And it does have a really cool metallic look to it. And basically, the more coats you put on, the more it's going to look metallic. I don't know. Honestly, I think if I should probably have tried one with some gesso on it, and maybe I will do that just to see if it takes less coats, because you know you don't want to use up all your product. Let me see if I have some clear gesso in here. I'm sure I do, but yeah, here we go. All right, let me try that. I'm going to try it on another one. Let's try it on this dragonfly, and we'll just do some clear gesso on there, and I think maybe I'm going to do that on a few others just so that it doesn't take as many coats. And I'm going to go ahead and try and get all the gook out of all the stuff too, and I'll probably do both sides on this too. I'm going to put it on, I have a mat right next to me, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then that way It might not take, I mean, you can achieve the look that you want just doing more coats, but I'm hoping that this will make it do less coats. I'm just guessing. It's just like, you know, when you paint wood or something, if you put a sealer on it first, you know, then, okay. All right, so that looks pretty good. This will dry pretty quick. Let me see, what else am I going to use? I'll try this little key. Some of the other stuff that we're doing, it doesn't really matter because you're covering it with something. You're not really painting it, so it's not absorbing it. So that's kind of a different thing. Okay, that's good. Let that one dry, and then I'm going to try this one right here. You know, it's just that I don't want to put that much product down if I don't have to, you know, because the gesso's a lot cheaper than all the other stuff. Although, you know, we're not using that much for these little things, but still. And then I'm just taking my brush and kind of poking those holes out. Those are not wanting to come out. I'm going to go ahead and put more on there, and then I'm going to poke them out. I think I have a stiffer brush that might work better to poke those out. Let me see. Yeah, always hang on to your stiff brushes because that's a good thing to use them for. Right? You just go in there and do that. There we go. I have another one over here too that might be even better. All right. There we go. This one's very, very detailed, so that's the problem. All right, put that aside. So I'm going to go ahead and move these over. All right, so now, here we go. I got that stuff all over my hands. Just trying to make it reasonably clean so we can work. Let's see. So that's how that looks. I think it looks pretty good. But I'll tell you what, let's try our other two that we left the stuff on that's sticky, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take our foil, and you got to do it. I mean, this is the back side, this is the front side. So I'm going to kind of put that on there like that. And I used my bone folder. I have this bone folder, and I just burnished it with that and kind of went over the whole thing. It's kind of, you could use a popsicle stick or whatever you have. And I just kind of rub the whole thing good. And you know, you can definitely feel where it is, so it's not that difficult. All right, and then we're going to pull it off. And voila, guys. Look at that. Look how easy that was. And look how cool that looks, right? And if you want to do the other side, just, you know, this is already dry. If you miss some spots, and I don't think that we missed any, but if you did, you just take this and kind of go over it. And I'm just doing that to show you. And then you can let that, you got to let it get tacky again and then go over it again, and it'll pick up those spots, okay? So that was super easy, right, guys? Look at that. Isn't that cool? I keep thinking there needs to be something that you can do with that. We'll have to come up with that, something. Then here's the other one that we did. Let's do, I'm going to do another color with that just so that you can see it. Let's do the gold. How about that? just push it down. I just do it with my finger at first. Okay. And that might be enough, but I just take this and just, you know, just for grins and kind of go over it. Not too hard, but just make sure that everything is down. And there you go. Is that not amazing? I think that is so cool. So anyway, that is all you do on that. That's super easy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of the glue on these two, because now this is super detailed, so I don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. We shall see. And I am going to tell you right off the bat that that is definitely my favorite way of doing it. But I am going to show you another way that is kind of cool too. But so I'm going to let this sit over here. I'm kind of blowing to get the spots in there, you know, kind of done. And as I said, you can use a glue stick, but the problem is on the glue stick you have to do it right away. And also it just doesn't work as well, but that way to me it works pretty good. Let's do the star. How about that? Okay, so all we're going to do on this is super easy. Is we are going to take, let me get another piece of parchment paper over here. We are going to just take our little I'm using a dabber, and anything like anything that you use with embossing will work. There's different brands out there. I mean, you can try Versamark will work. There's other brands too, but I'm using this because I just like to dab. Like, it's super easy to dab. When I got this dabber, I don't know, it came in like a kit thing that I bought, and I thought I'll never use that. I use this all the time. All the time. Okay, so that is all we need to do with that. And now let me get a piece of paper out. So I am going to take, this is embossing powder gold. This is it's a fine embossing powder, and any fine embossing powder will work. But this happens to be Ranger, and it is gold. So I'm going to put that on there. It's kind of an antique looking gold, I think. Put that on there. All right. Put that off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and put it in here because I've turned on my heat gun before, and then embossing powder goes flying. That's another thing when you're cleaning out your craft room. I almost threw away all of these pieces of paper that I had, and I use these all the time for different things, and you know what? I'm glad I didn't throw them away. Alright, let me move that over here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and heat that up. Let's do it on this. And I didn't prep this. That doesn't have any gesso on it or anything else. I am going to kind of hold it with my tweezers. And look how cool that looks just with one, okay? That is one coat. I like to do two because I really like that metallic look. So, and as I said, if you want to do both sides, which I am going to do on a lot of these, but I just, you know, I won't do them in front of you. So you just do, you know, you just do both sides. So you wait till the other, you do one side, let it dry, turn it over, do the other side. If you've done any kind of embossing, oh, I didn't put the stuff on there yet. Look at that. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm just going to put that on. And I mean, this to me is super easy. I mean, I don't think it's that difficult to do this, but someone did ask me about an embossing gun, and they're not that expensive. And I've had mine for over, gosh, it has to be 25 years. Easily 25 years. And it looks like it, and it's a mess. And I keep thinking I should replace it, but it works exactly the way it's supposed to, and it works well, so there's no reason. It looks messy, but it's been well loved, so. All right, so I am going to do this one again, just like we did a second ago. And all right, now see, as good as it looked before, look how cool it looks now, okay? I mean, I don't know, my hands are really dirty, but when you do all this stuff, isn't that cool? I know. And I think it has it really has quite a bit of a metal look to it too, doesn't it? All right, so we put the sticky stuff on here. So now I'm going to show you a different way. We're going to use these flakes, and I am going to go ahead and, I don't know, let's see, I have copper. I haven't done copper yet. Let me try that. Well, I kind of have, but what a mess. I've been playing with these, and they are so light that they just go flying everywhere. So let's try, or we could try silver. I haven't done silver. Let's try silver. Let me see if I can get a silver out without making a huge mess. Okay, there's a silver one right there. Now, this stuff is super light, and usually every time I get them out, my air conditioner turns on, so we'll see. So all you do with this is you basically, it's kind of like the other foil, but it is very lightweight. It's a lot more lightweight. Just put it on top, okay? And I just kind of press with my fingers, like that. And you kind of have to burnish it, so you can just lightly, don't go real hard. And you need to have somewhere to put these, because what will happen is they'll start flying everywhere. Let me see. Oh, I had a jar somewhere, but I don't know what I did with it. Oops, let's see here. I think I have a bowl over here I can put it in, but it'll still fly out of that. So let me think. Oh, great. I just dropped something, but well, okay. How about a plastic bag? How about a bag? We'll put it in a bag. Oh, I know what I have. I know what I have right here. I'm just going to put it in here for now, because I have to, they go flying everywhere. These pieces are going to go flying. I'm going to take that off. If I just put it down, it'll go everywhere. All right, see how it's already stuck to my fingers? And my fingers don't really have any glue on it. I'm trying to make sure I don't have glue on them, because that's part of the problem. All right, let me go ahead and dry my hands off a little bit, make sure I can get to this. All right, so after you kind of just do that with your fingers, I take a soft brush and kind of go like this and just kind of go in there. And what that will do is it kind of burnishes it, and it'll take off all the extra because it's only going to stick where you have glue. And it makes a really, really cool metallic look to it. And if you miss any spots, it's kind of like the other one. You just kind of go over it with glue and, you know, put more stuff on top of it because you can layer it. It's not going to be a problem if you layer it. All right. Now this stuff will stick like in the middle and stuff where the other foil doesn't, because the other foil is only going to stay where you have glue. But this stuff will kind of stick in different places. Like, see how it's sticking on my hands, or it'll stick on your nails or whatever. It won't stay, you know, permanently, I don't think, but it will kind of stick more. So you're going to have to work a little bit more to get all the little pieces out. And really a brush does that pretty well. Not that hard. You know, it takes a little bit more, just a little bit more, but not a lot. And the more detailed your piece is, the harder it's going to be to do. That's why I'm kind of thinking that butterfly, I'm going to try something else with it. Going to try something else because I don't know if it'll work. This piece, I think, turned out really beautiful. Just beautiful. And, you know, you can work with it more than I'm working with it. I don't want you to think that this is the end product, but I'm trying to give you an idea of what you have to do. And really, that brush will just get in there. I might have a stiffer brush. Let me see if I have a stiffer one anywhere. You go with the soft one, and then I do the stiffer one after. This is stiffer. This is stiffer than the other one, and then this one will kind of get all these other pieces out after it's all burnished down, because you don't want to do it beforehand. The softer brush kind of gets it all down, and then you can go in there with the stiffer brush and get all your pieces down. And if you want to do the sides, all you have to do is put glue on the sides, let it get tacky, and, you know, do the same thing. It's not gonna matter. I am gonna probably vintage this up a little bit. So, and the way I do that is I have alcohol spray, and I just spray a little bit on there and let it sit, and it makes it a little bit darker. And I will show you that, but isn't that cool? That is so cool, right? I love that. And it looks like metal, doesn't it? Okay. All right. I am going to show you this. I'm going to do this with the other foil, because the more detailed it is, the better off you're using this foil, because it, let me do silver with that so you can compare them. The more detailed it is, the better off you are, because it's only going to stick to the places that, in fact, I do have to, maybe a couple spots there we might want to poke out that I can see, like these right here. Right? Yeah. This one's going to be a tough one. I can tell you that right now, because just because it's so detailed. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it, right? All right, let's try that. And we're going to try this. And all right, where did move my tools over? I got a big old pile of them over here. And I am going to go ahead and just I just do that to make sure it's all stuck down. You know, you can like I said, you can use a popsicle stick or anything that you have to burnish. I'm using that because I have it. Oh, it turned out great. Oh, see, I'm glad I did it with that one, because it would have been, you could definitely do it with the other one, but I think that it would have just taken a bit to go in there and you know, to take all the little stuff out. Isn't that cool? But it's two different looks, right? I think. This is a kind of a shinier metal look, and this is kind of a, I don't know, more of a hammered metal, right? Okay. Let's do, I want to do another embossing one, and I'm going to do this. Oh, wait. I went ahead and put that stuff on there for a reason. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, let me poke all this out before it all dries. All right. And then you'll find too, a lot of these, you know, they'll have a lot of little pieces that maybe are not popped out that should be, and you can go in there and do that. All right, I'm going to leave the ones that I put the gesso on off to the side. Okay, so now, let's see here. Let's do, we did gold last time. Let's do princess gold, okay? You know what? No, let's do some foundry wax. Let's do gilded. And we're going to use the foundry wax this time, and the fact that I put the gesso on it should make it have less coats. Okay? I was trying to remember what I put all that gesso on for. Now I remembered. I'm like, oh wait, it was for that. Anyway, all right. So this is, you know, it comes out. It's not super thick, but it's thick. It's not as thick as paint. It's getting clogged up. Let me see. Let me see here. Well, that's interesting. Let me shake it a little bit more. All right. There we go. There's like a little something in there. All right, let me get a little brush for that. And I am going to paint this. Oh, I got way too much on there. I'll have to do another one. We'll do a couple of them since I put so much on there. Oh yeah, so it's working way better with the gesso on there. It's not absorbing. You know what I mean? You can just see it sitting on top. So I'm going to do that one. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do this key since we have it out. I've got all this extra here. I don't want to waste it. Okay. Let's do the key. Yeah, I do think putting the gesso on definitely makes a difference. So I would do that step. Just because, you know, this product's gonna, you know, it costs more than a big jar of gesso, and there's all different kinds of clear gesso out there, and I use it. I was like, why would anybody want clear gesso? Well, there's lots of reasons to have clear gesso, but mainly to seal things. All right, his little eye right there needs to be poked out. That's good. All right, so I'm going to move these aside for a second. Put that in aside. All right, and then we are going to go ahead and heat those up and just see how they look. And that's just with one coat. So yeah, definitely you want to, in fact, it just completely different than this one. Completely different. You know, so I don't even know if, let's see if we did another coat, what it would look like. But yeah, it made a huge difference in putting the gesso on. So definitely let's put some gesso on. Okay, I'm going to do one more coat with this. Not a heavy coat, but I just want to see what it looks like. And I may go ahead and do that other one over again and show it to you later, just because we could do it right now. I think we have time. But anyway, yeah, these are just, you know, honestly, they're fun. I had them. They're cheap to buy. And I can just see a gazillion different ways you could use these in a journal. So, a gazillion. I'm not going to show you a gazillion though. All right, here we go. Definitely put the gesso on first. Because these things are really just, like I said, they're just cardboard, and what they're doing is they're absorbing all the product instead of it, you know, working for you. But that worked really well. Love that. Absolutely love that. Let me try this. And this is with the gesso, so we shall see how that works, right? I can tell you as far as absorbing it, I'm using a lot less just with the one coat, so right, there we go. Here we go. And I'm going to poke some of these little holes out in there while I'm doing this. And if you want to do the sides, just now's the time. You can do it with that, just what you have left over here. And I probably am going to do the backs of most of these because of the way that I'm going to use them. But, you know, you decide, you know, if you're going to glue it down, you don't really need to do the back. Okay. Just got a few pieces here that I probably want to do a little bit better job. As I said, this is a wax, so it's just kind of chunky. And if you've got a very detailed piece, it's definitely going to get stuck in there. So it does make it a little bit harder, I think, than doing the embossing. All right. So yeah, definitely makes a huge difference when you put the gesso on. See how that looks? I think it looks very similar to this. So, you know, I don't know. All right, and then let's see. I wanted to do one more embossing powder, and this is called Princess Gold. And let's see which one we're going to do with that. I don't know. I do not know. Let me see. Oh, here we go. That's where I put him. I kind of wanted to do I want to do another butterfly? Yeah, let's do another butterfly. The reason the embossing, I think, is a little bit easier is that all you're doing on that is you're just pretty much, let's get this paper here. I mean, it's an extra step, but it's only going to stick where you have this embossing ink, so you're not going to have a lot of spots. Like the wax is going to get stuck in certain spots, whereas this doesn't as much. Okay, there we go. I have not used this color yet, so I want to see what it looks like. That's why I'm keeping you guys here so long. Okay. And I always put the stuff back in because, trust me, I've had a situation where I didn't do that. I turned on my heat gun and stuff went flying everywhere. I mean, I think this can be worse than glitter. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just heat that up. Heat it up. Let me see if I can. I try not to get it anywhere that it's going to be. All right. I just stuck my finger on there. That's not good. I have to go back in and put it on some more on there. I'm going to go ahead and put a second pass on it like I did the other one, to be fair. Although I don't think it needs it, but except for the part that I stuck my finger on, right? Jeez. Because it's still warm. And if you stick your finger on it, you're going to end up, you know, taking some of it off. So we're going to do that again. Just going to tap it a little bit. Anyway, this is just so fun, and you can make a gazillion of these things. A gazillion in no time. It doesn't take much at all. It just doesn't. And depending upon how you want to do it too. But the gesso thing, definitely do that. I'll tell you that. All right, for my money, I say, okay, so here is the what do you call it? The embossing powder, and then here is the foundry wax. So they're similar look, right? But I think they're both amazing. I love them both. All right, that is pretty much what I was going to show you. The only other thing I was going to bring up is that there are other things that you can use. If you have Tack It over and over, that's this Arlene stuff, you can use that on for these pieces like that, just because it works that way, but it's thicker, so it gets all in those little pieces. So I prefer this stuff, and that's for the heat foil. And I actually use my heat foil with this more than I do with the heat thing. Like I said, you can use it with something like a heat thing, or you know, honestly, but you saw how easy that was. That was just really, really, really super easy. And here's our butterfly. Wasn't that pretty? So we did it with that. And let's see. Oh wait, we did this gold one with that. That's all with the heat foil. We only did, let's see, what did we do? We did one with the other foil, and that's not hard to do. It really isn't, and I think it looks pretty cool. This is the embossing, and then these three, or actually, yeah, these are the foundry wax. Oh, that's the back part of it. All right, so that's the foundry wax. For some reason, this one's not, I don't think it's doing what it's supposed to do, but that's how that looks. Now, the other thing I was going to show you, because I got off track there, is that you can use, if you have any of these wax things, like I have this rub-on wax, or you have this type of wax, you'll get a finish kind of like that. Okay, you can do that, and you just rub it on. That's it. Let's see. I have some stuff that is just regular paint that's called brushed metal in different kind of colors. And let me see what I have on that. Where did they go? Okay, they're in here somewhere. That is these right here. So that is just a brushed metal, and it doesn't look as metally. I don't know if that's a word, but I think they look pretty cool. So if you want to just do something like that. This is just another paint that's kind of a metallic paint if you want like a color. I think it looks pretty cool, right? The other thing that I used, I have picked up some of these at the dollar store, and they're metallic liquid liner, and it comes with a little brush, okay? And you can actually just paint them with that, and that's the kind of look you're going to get with that, okay? And then lastly, I tried just some nail polish, just some silver nail polish. And that's how that looks. But anyway, that's all I had. And you can, try this out. Do whatever you want to do, because I don't know. There's some really fun ways to do it. Use the products that you have. Maybe you haven't thought about using them that way, but I had a blast doing it. And to be honest with you, my two favorite ways are the heat foil and the embossing. So those are my two easiest. I think they're easy, and I think they turn out really, really good. So you decide. And I mean, you can use these as dangles. You can put them on a tag. You can put it on a page. There's just a lot of things that you can do with this. And anyway, that's it. So you guys take care, and tomorrow is my Tim Holtz Tuesday, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.